Hi guys, my name is Christine and I'm a dating, relationship and personal development coach. And today I'm talking about 5 ways to make an ex-lover regret dumping you. So these are things that these 5 things, you must be able to do all of these 5, okay? It's not just pick and choose which one, okay? You must do all of these 5 things, okay? So the first way to make an ex-lover regret dumping you is if you do the opposite of what they expect. Okay. Now I know some people may watch this video and time has gone by and perhaps you already did the wrong thing with this one. Okay, but generally what I tell people is when you get dumped, the best thing for you to do is to accept it and not fight it, not try and fight for the relationship. Okay. You've got to do the opposite of what they expect, which is accept it. Okay, because they're expecting you to fight, right? They're expecting you to try and resolve things, to try and make the relationship work. But if someone dumps you and you say to them, okay, I want to be with someone that loves me and clearly you don't love me, so that's fine. And then you walk away out of their life and you go into no contact, perhaps before you say sorry for any part you may have played in the breakup or anything that you may have done wrong, because it's always a good idea to apologize for your mistakes if you made any. Right, and I'm sure there's always something you can think of that you could have done better. But then you just accept it. You don't try and fight for the relationship. Just by apologizing doesn't mean that you're trying to change things. You're just you're just apologizing for your part in what happened, right? And that's it. You're not trying to, try and use that as a way to like, oh yeah, I'm really sorry for everything that happened. Can you please take me back? You're not doing that. You're saying like, okay, yeah, that's fine. I'm really sorry for my anger recently. I'm really sorry for, saying what I did about that. But, like you said, I want to be with someone that loves me. And if you don't love me anymore, then that's fine. I'm going to go and continue my life journey. And I wish you well on yours. And then you walk away. But if you have been someone who has already tried to beg and plead, then the best thing for you to do now is still do what they least expect you to do, which is to stop, right? And you stop trying to beg, you stop trying to plead and to try and resolve things, and you go directly into no contact and you walk away and you stop trying to fix things, okay? Now, if this is someone that you know and you see on a regular basis, like someone who you go to work with, or perhaps you've got kids, so you drop the kids off, or you pick them up on a regular basis, or something like that from your exes, then when you speak to your ex, you must speak to them, or someone that you work with, you must speak to them. So if your ex is someone that you work with, or it's someone who you see regularly because of family, like kids, then you always speak to them in a business-like manner. You don't speak to them in an emotional manner, and you try and keep the relationship as transactional as possible, right? And you also try and cut the conversation short as possible. So if you're there to pick up the kids, don't just hang about, right? Just say, okay, I'm here to collect the kids, take the kids, go. Don't loiter about or anything like that, trying to get to know them, like, how's your week been? Have you seen anyone new? You're not asking them any emotional questions. You're there to do exactly what the mission is, which is to collect your kids or to drop them off, whatever it may be, okay? Keep it very transactional. It's the same with someone who you go to work with. Just treat them like a neutral person who you work with. Treat them like a colleague. Forget that you have any past with them. Or at least, I know you can't literally forget that you have a past with them, but you act as if they're just someone else that you work with, right? You've got no emotional sort of way to talk to them. You're talking to them like they're your colleague, right? And that's it. Okay, so do the opposite of what they expect. Go into no contact, walk away, and if you can't, always talk to them very transactionally, very business-like. Okay? So another way to make your ex regret dumping you is if you actually heal and get over the relationship. Okay? Not pretending that you're over it, but you actually do the work and you find a way to get over the relationship. This could be getting yourself a therapist or a counselor. It could be doing some journaling, right? And trying to work out your memories and things like that, and things that you've experienced. One of the ways that you can do that is by writing down these memories that you have, especially those memories that play in your mind over and over and over again, right? I'm sure you've probably got a few memories like that you keep on thinking about. Those are the memories that you need to write down, right? And you need to write them down truthfully, because a lot of times when people write things down, They're writing it as if someone at some point is actually going to read it, but you don't want to do that. You need to write it down very truthfully, because this is just for you. If you don't want anyone to read it, then just throw it away, flush it down the toilet, burn it. Or if it's on your phone, it's like a memo on your phone, then delete it. If it's on your computer, on a Word document or something like that, then delete it afterwards, after you've written these things down, and that will help you process the information. But you've got to be very truthful. Right, you've got to be very concise and say exactly what happened, the way that it happened, and write down your thoughts and feelings about it. Ask yourself questions like, well, what did this teach me? What would I do differently if I was in the same position? You may even want to do a bit of visualization. One of the things that helps me with things that have happened in my past that are not just about exes, but I think back on certain things and I remember and I visualize an older version of myself, like who I am now, coming in and rescuing me and stopping the situation, right? That's something that helps me move on from past experiences of my life, right? Like thinking, what would my adult version do now if I could change this memory? So I think about the memory and I step in and I resolve it and I sort it out, right? So that may be something that you may want to adopt as well. But, obviously the best sort of way to help with this sort of thing is you need to get yourself a counselor or a therapist if you can afford to do so. But if you actually heal and you actually move on with your life, that's going to make your ex-lover regret dumping you, especially if they seem to move on themselves, or they haven't healed themselves. When they see that you're actually happy, right, that's going to make them second guess maybe what they did to you. Okay, so you've got to think about that. And also, if you truly heal and move on, none of this is going to matter anyway, what they think. So that's a bigger, amazing bonus. You won't even care about if they regret leaving you or dumping you. You will, already be healed and moved on. So you'll probably maybe even be in a new relationship by then, and you'll be having an even better life. Okay, so another thing that can help to make an ex-lover regret dumping you is if you get fit and healthy. Right, so start going to the gym if you haven't already started to do so. Start exercising, start eating the right things, eat nutritious meals. You may want to talk to a dietitian about it, because I know a lot of people respond to different diets. There's some people out there that have autoimmune disorders and can't eat certain foods. For me, for example, I can't eat gluten very much. I try to stay away from anything that's too carby, like processed things, like bread, for example, like white bread, pasta, rice, those kinds of things, because those kinds of foods, and potatoes as well, those sorts of things make me really bloated. So I stay on a low carb diet. I do occasionally have carbs, but I make it into just one meal as opposed to with every meal. Okay, so I need to stick to a low carb diet because I just balloon if I don't, right? So I know a lot of people have different diets, and you may need to find out what's right for you. So please speak to a dietitian about that, and a medical professional as well, maybe even is as well. Okay, so that's another thing that can really help if you get fit and healthy and you start looking your best. Okay, so another way to make your ex-lover regret dumping you is if you start pursuing your dreams. So this is important. This is so crucial. You've got to be following your dreams. Because life is so short, right? So you might as well be spending your time, right, doing something productive with it and trying to achieve and have a life that you've always wanted. You might as well spend your time doing that, because the time is going to pass anyway, right? Because a lot of people, they say, oh yeah, but I should have really started this 5 years ago. But that's fine, just start now, right? Just because you should have started 5 years ago doesn't mean that you should stop altogether and you shouldn't start at all, right? You've got to start where you are, with what you have, with the resources that you have. So make a plan for yourself. What kind of house do you want to live in? What kind of body would you like to have? What kind of income would you like to be having? How would you like to be spending your time? What kind of career would you like to have? And start working towards that every single day until you achieve it. Not until you get tired, not until you give up, not until you realize that maybe this isn't working out for you. You're going to keep on going until you achieve your dreams. You're just not going to give up. You keep on going until, right? Not until it gets too difficult, until you do it, right? That's the mindset that you should have when it comes to the things that you want in this life. You're going to keep on going until you get it, okay? So pursue your dreams. That will definitely make them regret dumping you, especially when they look back on your life, or they'll look at your social media pages and be like, oh my God, they achieved all the things that they set out to do, or wow, they look like they're living an amazing life and I don't, or something like that, right? They're going to regret that because they're going to see that you've got your stuff together, you've managed to achieve everything that you've always wanted to in life, and that's definitely going to make them second guess their decision about dumping you, okay? So the last way that can make an ex-lover regret dumping you is if you find someone better in all areas. Find someone who is better looking, who treats you better, who is much nicer, right? Who has a better personality, who has better behavioral patterns, has the same kind of lifestyle that you do, likes the same things as you, who you have a better bond with, right? So if you find someone way better in all of those categories, which is entirely possible for you, you can definitely do that, then they're definitely going to regret dumping you. So these are the 5 things that you need to do, right, in order to have that ex-lover regret dumping you, okay? And if you do all of these things, then you're not even going to care by the end of it if your ex-lover regrets dumping you, okay? So thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to get in touch with me personally and you'd like coaching with me, then please go to www.christineloveridge.com and I shall talk to you again very soon. Goodbye.